What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? I'm glad to see y'all here tonight. I know I told you I have a million and one things to do, but this was a very, very highly requested project. So I decided to break down what I was doing, go ahead and handle this for you all so that you all can get on these types of projects, because I'm sure this is going to be a popular theme. And it just so happened that I already had my cartoons. So there is a little special surprise in this file. Now you can choose to do the one with the cartoons. It's going to be $15 more than the regular template, but it will have several cartoons. So it's going to have our Will there, and our original Aunt Viv, Ashley, Hillary, and I even did Tyra. And a little surprise in there. There's a little Jada in there too, you know? So just in case you want to do a little something fun with that. So I want to see what you all come up with. Of course, it doesn't have to say Fresh Queen or Fresh King or anything like that. This was just something I was using as example text. So I'm going to show you how you would edit this file and even change the colorway for the future. So this is probably going to be a really, really highly used template. And I just want to let you all know too that the way this is designed to basically not have to worry about the sleeves being sublimated fully, which I know that's a big issue. And it's designed so that it looks cool as a, and I'll show you here. Let me close all this up. Remember I was telling y'all about the jumbo prints? So we can basically print this as a jumbo print and it still looks really nice, really substantial on the tee. You see how it kind of almost goes all the way into the sleeve area. And this is an 18 by 26 image here. Oh yeah, I do need to do Uncle Phil. So I'm gonna have to do Uncle Phil. I was doing the young characters because I was actually working on a different project that I never put out. I always work on this stuff and then never put it out. So this kind of pushed me to put it out. But yeah, I definitely need to do Uncle Phil. And the reason why I have the female characters is because I was working on the Savage design. And so I was torn between whether I wanted to do Savage for the different world girls or the Savage for the Fresh Prince ladies. So if you think about it, what did I do? So I did Savage. I actually did Viv for Savage. And then, no. I did her for Savage. I forget Tyra's name in the show. What is it? I can't think of it right now. So I did her for Savage because she was like, you know, from was it Crenshaw? Anyways, I can't remember where they're. No, she was from Philly too. I think she was from Philly with him. Anyway, so I had Savage, Classy. So I had Viv for Classy. Bougie, of course, is Hillary, and then I can't remember who I did for. Oh, ha. Little Ratchet. Even though I don't consider it Ratchet. But anyhow, so I just wanted to let y'all know y'all can have fun with these as long as you do not sell them as art files and you only use them for end use. So that will be a bonus in this particular file. You won't just get the Will cartoon, you'll get all of those cartoons. And I probably won't have time to do Uncle Phil because these take a really, really long time. And I know y'all are always asking me to teach you how to do cartoons. I'm gonna show
What's good, YouTube?
I'm going to show you someone that I want you to subscribe to. I'm actually going to ask him if we can do it like a collaboration project together because I cartoon slow as mess. It is not anything that I wish to teach, but he is a beast at cartooning And this is Illustrator, it's not Photoshop. So I'm still learning Illustrator. And I have to get help sometimes. So I'm just letting y'all know that there's somebody much, much greater out there. And when I tell you this guy, he's really down to earth, easy to follow, does phenomenal work. I'm just kind of taking you through some of his steps, but it's Shy World 1234. Y'all make sure that you follow him on your YouTube, bitch. See if we get to the final drawing. I mean, like super detailed. I'm not this detailed at all. But yeah, he gets in there. You hear me? Like in there. Tattoos and all. Okay. So I just wanted to give y'all that hint, and every time y'all ask me to cartoon, I'm gonna tell y'all to follow him, cause I'm have enough on my plate teaching y'all Photoshop. Illustrator is a totally different beast. It still scares me to this day. I'm still trying to learn how to work with my gradients and transparencies and all that good stuff. So eventually, maybe I'll feel confident enough to show y'all that. Okay, and then my brother, he's a natural artist, so he helps me out sometimes too, but he can like sketch off the top of his brain. I can't do that. I have to have something exact to look at, and I have to break it down from what I see. So that's why I say there are people who just naturally have that knack for drawing art way better than me. Okay, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this particular edit. So I'm gonna turn off the layer mask here. Disable it. Now, if you ever want to turn that back on because you want to basically do it as a jumbo print, then just hit to enable that layer mask. And I'm going to stay up tonight, go ahead and load this, and also the jumbo print requests. I've been getting more requests for the jumbo prints, and I think that this will be something that could really kick off these types of designs and that size print, because you only have to press it twice. Instead of pressing 4 times with the 16 by 20 for an all over, you just press twice. You press once at the top, once at the bottom, make sure you overlap in the middle, and boom, you're done. Okay, and it's still very impressive as far as the size and the impact of the graphics. All right. Hey, Kia. She could be. Let's see who else we have here. Misha, Vegan Life. Did I answer y'all's questions? Because sometimes I just go on talking. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to disable the layer mask so we can get to changing these colorways. Now, when I see the shoe, I don't see like a pink that I see in a lot of other people's designs. I see more of an infrared kind of pink. So I made mine more infrared, but when you have this template, you're able to change these colors however you want. I even put a little color palette over here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to not use the cartoons just in case you decide to do the version without the cartoon. I think I'm going to bring in an image of Mike Tyson, just to kind of play with that. But I want you to understand, bring in whatever photo you find relevant. And the other thing is I wanted to just show you how to change the colors of the graphics a little bit. So you see how Mike has red in his gloves and red on his belt? I wanted to sort of match this particular, funky color scheme, this Fresh Prince color scheme. So we go ahead and drag into the folder, into the photos folder. And then I'm going to copy and paste the layer style, which puts that outline around them, and see if I like that. So I'm going to copy the layer style from the Fresh Wheel, copy layer style, and I'm going to paste it on Mike Tyson. And then that way, even though it's not cartooned, it kind of gives me a little bit of that effect. All right, and the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to change my colorways. Actually, you know what? I will change the colorways to match the red. And then that way I can show you how, if you had some different pair of shoes, you can match them. So each of the colors here have an effect on them, okay? So if I double click on the effect, all it's going to show me is that it's a simple color overlay. All right, so each color swatch here has a color overlay that I picked from the shoe a little bit, but of course your screen is going to matter whether those colors are accurate. And just in general, there's no such thing as getting accurate colors when you don't control the camera source, the lighting source, the place where you pulled the images from, i.e. the internet. So don't be so hard on yourself, but definitely at least try to visually match these colors. That's why I saw a lot of designs that had this is like hot pink and like light pink. And I think there is a little more pink. I'm going to show you the shoe image that I used. So this is the image that I used from the back of the shoe so that I could see a little more of the tongue, because that's where the majority of the color is, and then on the outside of the sole. So I saw like a really vibrant blue. Like I said, this color was not quite pink to me. It was more of like a infrared kind of hot coral, but it does have a pink hue to it. And then inside of the sole, it looks like it could be a little more pink, but it's also that same color touching purple. So when your eyes combine those colors together, it's going to look more like fuchsia. So you're seeing that purple right juxtaposed against that bright, I'm going to call it a coral pink. Okay, so to me, it's still coral pink, but I wouldn't know because I would probably not spend $190, $200 on some sneakers. But I do know sneakerheads are very serious about their craft and their colors. So if they do decide to do something with theme colors, make sure you have your colors on point. It would even be helpful if you know somebody with the shoes so you can kind of compare the colors that are on your screen versus what's printing, what presses versus that actual shoe. It's all a game. It's not an exact science. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this colorway. This isn't going to be as interesting of a colorway because usually when you do reds are going to go with the black, gray, white kind of color scheme. But I'm going to show you precisely how to work with that. So the first colorway, I'm going to duplicate. No, I'm not going to duplicate the color palette. I'm just going to create a secondary color. And the way that you do that without erasing your original color data here is just to hit this plus sign. So now that I have the plus sign activated, I'm going to choose my first color is going to be a red there. I'm going to go to the FX of my color 2. And then I'm also kind of paying attention to what's going to replace. So I want something that contrasts the first one because the first one was, complementary. Because the first one was purple, next one was blue. So let's get a little bit darker red. Like I said, this isn't going to be as extravagant of a colorway change because we're basically doing a red, black, and gray. Maybe we'll do a little bit of gold. All right, so next one, let's do FX. This one is the lighter blue. So what I like to do when I have an existing colorway, hold on, yes.
I need to go in the bathroom, the innocent bathroom, and I need to.
Okay, well, I am recording live right now. So use the restroom, close the door. Sorry, loves, a little bit of real life in the moment. And what was I doing? Okay, so hold on just a second, loves. I was just about to change the color from the lighter blue, and we're going to go ahead and go with the lighter red. All right, so when I'm picking from the colors here, I can actually make sure you wash your hands. Okay, so I'm going to choose a lighter red, maybe right about here. Then that way I should end up with some type of variation here. And of course, nobody closes my doors. All right, so I'm back. All right, so I'm choosing the lighter red color to give me a little bit of variation. And then for the next color, the pink, I think I'm going to choose a gray. And if I want to choose a gray that has similar, basically a similar color range, then I'm going to just drag it for similar value, not color range. I think that gray just about gives me a 50% value there between black and white. And then I'm going to keep black for sure. And I'm thinking maybe I'll do a gold for color 5. And I can choose a gold from the image here, and I think that is a pretty good gold right there. I'm going to stop right there. And color 6, I'm going to keep the black. And because I got distracted, I replaced some of my colors, so let me grab my color back. 2 was the bright blue. So I'm going to make sure that I keep those. And 3 was the lighter blue. And I'm just keeping these because I hate to completely redesign something and then have to revert back to it without my alternate just being just a click away from changing my alternate. So I did that properly with the gray. I didn't even do it with the gold, and I was sitting right here not being distracted with the gold. Now the gold was the green color. And then black, we said we were going to keep the same. I usually, almost anytime I'm designing something, I'm going to have black, white, or gray in it just to kind of ground the design if I ever need something to kind of give me a neutral effect. And I think that's it. So once you select your color palette, the rest is just repetition. So I'm going to copy the layer style from color 1. And this is what takes me so long to make templates, because I try to make them ways that you can replicate the same process the same way every single time. So I did right click, copy layer style for color 1. Now anywhere that I see color 1, so I'm going to scroll down. I see I have a paint splatter color 1. I'm going to paste that layer style. And then I see color 1. I'm going to paste the layer style. So what that did is it just took my previous dark purple color and it replaced it with the red. And if I want to double check here, I can check and see that my dark purple is still there. Okay, so this is the reason why I don't like to do it too much, but usually especially if I'm doing the tutorials for you all, I like to keep 2 alternate colorways. And then that way when you go playing with it, you have something to play with. So color number 2, of course, this is darker color. I don't even care what the color is now. I'm just going to copy the layer style and paste it. And then I can tweak it later if the colors kind of, if they clash in the wrong place. So I'm just looking for color 2. So there's no color 2 with the paint splash. There is a color 2 here. Paste layer style. and you'll eventually see this whole thing change up. Now, if you don't want to scroll through the layers, which you probably don't, I'm going to get rid of some of these extra images. I can just right click on the swatch here, go to color 3, copy the layer style, and then I can either scroll down or I can click on what I believe to be layer 3, which is, or color 3, which was this lighter blue. So I'm going to go to color 3 and paste layer style. I love choosing my options from the artboard rather than sifting through the layers over here. So color 4, right click, copy layer style. And the gray would be, what, the pink? Yep, color 4, paste layer style. And color 5 is the gold now, but it was once that green color. There's color 5, paste layer style. And let's see, then the black stays. So you do see I have a gradient in the background, so let's go ahead and handle that gradient. Now, instead of replacing the colors of my gradient, I'm just going to right click, duplicate this layer. I'm going to turn off the visibility of the previous one and just double click on this gradient here. And I have 2 colors, the purple, and then I did a contrast, faded it into that green color. So in this case, I'm probably going to take my standard red, or do I want to do my darker red or black? I think I like the black. And I forgot to paste my layer style onto my splashes. So I will have to go back and do that. So I'm thinking the black kind of grounds that red because there's a lot of red going on here. And let's see if I want to do the gold, or I can do white. I think we'll just go black to white. Like I said, usually working with red, you're going to keep it pretty simple. Reds and neutrals for the most part. All right, so now I've just faded it black to white. And I need to click on this paint splatter color 5. And I know that color 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is gold. So I'm going to copy the layer style from my color swatch 5. And I'm going to grab this paint splatter color 5 and paste the layer style there. All right, and there's one more color I'm missing, the blue, the lighter blue, which in this case was color 4. So it's going to change to gray. I think I'm just going to make it the same as color 6 because I want to see a little bit more black. So I have gold, red, or do I want to see red? Let's see. Let's just do like I was supposed to do, which is go with color number 3. So let's choose color number 3, copy layer style, go to paint splatter for color number 3, paste layer style. Okay, that does look good. And of course I have the pink up here. So that's going to be color number 4. So let me go 1, 2, 3, 4. Copy this layer style. Like I said, it's just repetitious. And once you start playing with these templates one time, it will be easy as pie the next time you go to edit it, especially if you're doing back-to-back edits. All right, so let's paste layer style there. And then I get my gray up there. So that's my color change. That's it. The next thing that I may want to do is go ahead and change the color of my text here. So there are 2 different ways to change the color, or 2 different places that you need to change the color. One is the actual text itself has a color change to it, and then there's the glow on the folder for that text. So the reason why I had to do that is because I wanted to have a an optional glow that would also translate into, I think, into affinity. So for some reason, it wouldn't do both. So I just made it to where it glows and it has a drop shadow and it has a stroke, and that tends to translate better to affinity versus having all of that on one layer of text. And there is a gradient overlay on here that I want to change. So I'm going to double click on the word gradient overlay. If you don't see that, let's say for instance this is closed up, then just double click on the effects and then you will see the gradient overlay there. Now I'm going to again create another option here so I don't override my current gradient overlay settings. And for this one we went from a darker green, or from a lighter green to the darker green. So I'm going to do the same thing except I'm going to do that with the red. So let's choose our medium red here. And we're going to go into the darker red. And I'm just double clicking on those color stops. And I may even go from the lighter red here, just to add a little more contrast. Yeah. All right, and of course, like I told you, the glow is on a different layer. It's on the whole folder. So I'm going to double click on the FX for the folder now and just change the outer glow. As you can see, that's the only thing on here. Now for this one, for the outer glow, I can't create another option. So what I will have to do is I will have to change the outer glow directly. All right, so let's see. I think black is not necessarily going to do it for me. I don't really like the gold there. Maybe even white. What do y'all think? Maybe the white? Or, you know what? I'm going to take the glow off altogether. So I'll show you a version of it without the glow. So if you want to turn the glow off, we're just going to expand that FX and turn the eyeball off for the effects. So we'll have a version with the glow, of course, with the Fresh King original version, and then the remix version will not have the glow. So if you want to turn it back on, then you just hit the effect there for the folder. All right, so now instead of doing that all over again for the word king, I'm just going to right click on this folder. I'm going to copy the layer style, and then I'm going to paste that on the word king. But not the word king, I'm sorry, the folder that says king with glow, because I just copied the glow. So I'm going to paste the glow. Or the lack of the glow, and it just took the identical effects from one place and pasted it right on the other. Now I have to do the same thing for the word fresh. I'm going to copy this layer style and make sure that you're clicking where the word is. If you click where the T is, you're going to get something different. If you right click where the FX is, you're going to get something different. So if you right click where the text is or the main layer bar, then you're going to get your most options. So let's go copy layer style. And then I'm going to go to King. And see how I don't sift through these layers. I pick from my artboard. And then I'm going to paste that layer style. Okay, and keep in mind, I still have my alternate colorway right there in that gradient. All right, so now I'm thinking that maybe I need the white a little bit. So let's do this. Let's bring the white back. Because right down here, it needs something to kind of make it stand out from the color. So let's go back to my effects. And I'm going to make it white. And then of course I have to turn the visibility back on. And if I wanted to, I don't have to necessarily have it. Matter of fact, let's go back a second. Let me do this instead of the glow. Let me show you an outline. That way I keep my pink glow. And let's do a stroke instead. We'll turn off the outer glow. The stroke will be white. And of course I have to turn on my visibility. Turn that back on. And then I can increase or decrease the size of my stroke here. And that kind of makes it stand out as well. So I think I like that. Now, once I have what I like, for one, I'm going to right click. Now this is just for the glow. So I'm going to go with the king with the glow. Copy that layer style. And then I'm going to go to the fresh with the glow, which is just that folder. And I'm going to paste that layer style. All right, and pretty much that's it. That's the design. I'll move this photo down a little bit. And then I'm going to do one more thing, a little fancy thing. I like to, when I see stuff like gloves, I like for those things to be focal. So I'm going to bring the image in front of the word king. So let's Alt. When I hit Alt and select and drag, it just created a copy of that image. I'm going to group it just so that I can add a layer mask. And in this case, no, I don't need a layer mask. Well, I do need a layer mask. I don't need a folder. Let me take it out of the folder. Because I'm going to take off. I'm going to take off these effects. Because I don't need them. I just really want to see his glove on the outside there. I think that'll make it look really tough if his glove was sitting in front of the word king. Now, this is a little advanced technique. I don't expect y'all to do this, but if you can follow this part, this just puts the extra in the type of work that you can perform. So just to let you know, the copy is still behind it, right? So the one that's on top right now, I'm going to create a layer mask on it. And of course, the layer mask is white, so that means it's revealing everything. I'm going to grab my black paintbrush. So I have my paintbrush, black is loaded up on there. If you don't see black there, hit your default swatches and then switch black to the front. And I'm going to pull down the size of my brush here. And I am brushing away part of the image that I don't need. And I'm not even being that particular. Normally I would cut this out with the pen tool. All right, and then I'm going to bring back the image here. I'm going to bring this back a little bit by going to the layer mask layer. As a matter of fact, I'm going to disable that layer mask so you can see what I'm talking about. That way I just pull it all back in. So with the characters, I had this layer mask enabled because it softly cut off the cartoon characters. But for this one, if I disable the layer mask, I get my full image and it looks like it's fully behind the word king. So that's why I was saying I like the idea of his fist right on top of that eye for king. And let me go ahead and link these two. So if I link Mike Tyson and Mike Tyson, the front one and the back image, hit this link here, then they're going to move together. So if I move one, it's going to move them both. And then that way I can put his fist precisely over that eye. Okay. And maybe you want to do Fresh King in the colorway for the shoes. So I'm going to show you how to change it back to that colorway. All right, so let me go ahead and save what I'm working on right now. Saving there. And I'm going to go to my color, and it really doesn't even matter about the color palette right now. I can actually turn it off because I have all of my colors saved as alternates for my design. So if I go to my effects for color 1, I'm just going to switch now. Turn off the color overlay from the red colorway and then let the purple show through. Same thing for all of the subsequent layers. I'm just going to turn off this check mark here, and you see my colors are starting to come back. And the reason why I'm doing it in reverse is because I know a lot of times we get to going through the process and we can do it one way, but we can't quite go back the other way. So I'm showing you how simple it is to bring back that original colorway. And literally I'm just double clicking on the effects and disabling the new colorway that we created. So it's revealing the old colorway because I never turned it off. I kept it right there. All right, so now all these colors are coming back. I think I missed this one. I already did the green, and I think the black one is going to stay black. So the other thing I'm going to do is turn off my gradient for the black to the white, turn on the gradient from the purple to the green, go to my word fresh, double click on the FX there, and remember I saved the gradient, so the gradient's still there. And for the folder, I did a stroke instead of the outer glow. So if I bring my outer glow, ooh, the stroke with the outer glow looks really good. I think I'm going to leave that. Okay, so let me copy the layer style for the folder that says Fresh with a Glow. Copy that layer style, and I'm going to paste it here onto King. Uh-oh, not the word King. I needed to paste it onto the King with Glow folder. I thought that was a little odd. There we go. And then the word Fresh, I'm just going to copy that layer style and paste it on the word King. All right. And then if I wanted to go a little bit of a step further, let's say I wanted to tie in that, that hot corally pink instead of red for his belt and his glove, then I'm going to go to, first I'm going to start with the top image because I think that's pretty much where the color is. I don't even think I need to play with the color of the image below, but we'll see in just a moment. I'm going to go and do a layer adjustment. So I'm going to go to Layer, New Adjustment Layer, and then we're going to go to Hue Saturation. And I'm going to tell it to use the previous layer to create a clipping mask because I don't want it to change the colors of anything else but this image. If you don't choose that, then it'll change the colors of all the subsequent layers. All right, so let's come over here to the reds. I'm guessing that those are reds. If you don't know what color channel that is, then just select the little finger here and point to. So I'm going to select the finger. Make sure it's depressed, meaning that it's dark around it. And I'm going to choose one of the reds there. And I assumed it was going to be reds, but sometimes you'll think it's reds and it's actually the magenta. So while I'm on reds, I'm going to change the hue. Notice it's changing his skin tone too because there is red in the skin tone, but we're going to mask that out in a little bit. So as you can see here, it's giving me more of the pink, like that fuchsia pink, but I want more of that reddish kind of really bold pink. Not saying it's exactly going to print this color, but at least I want to get as close to it as possible. So I want to get a little closer more to the oranges than to the purples. And then I might even play with my lightness and darkness, my saturation, bring it up to make it a little more bold. And then I may even have to play with my magentas a little bit. Nope, magentas are good. They're not messing around. I think that's good. I think that's about where I want it to be. Now, of course, it turned his skin tone a little more pink too, right? And of course his belt, but I don't mind the belt being pink because it goes with the theme. But I don't want his skin to be pink. So I'm going to, it comes with a layer mask automatically whenever you do a layer adjustment. So I'm going to go to this layer mask, grab my paintbrush, and I'm going to paint on his skin. And look what's happening. It's bringing the brown hue back. Okay, and then I'm not even being very careful. I'm just making sure I select where his skin is to bring that color back. And then I'm leaving the pink where the belt was. I'm leaving the pink where the glove is, and even the details here in the belt. I'm letting that be a little pink. And if we can turn off the hue saturation layer, turn it back on, and you see how that pink just makes it kind of go with the design a little bit more. So that was me showing you how to change the colorway overall, change out the image, and this text. Now, if you keep this text like it is and you want to say Fresh King, you will not have to purchase a font, but this is a font that you do have to purchase, and this is not the regular Fresh Princess font. The regular Fresh Princess font has an additional outline around it, so this one is Fresh Princess 3. So this is a new one that that kind of to me looks a little more like the vibe of the Fresh Prince, because it does, when it touches itself, when the letters touch itself, it doesn't overlap and it doesn't have to have that line, that outline right there. So this is a new font. I will be posting that online as well. Let's see here. But something I was going to show you. Oh, how to change the font. If you want to change the font, you just simply double click on the word that you want to change. And let's say you wanted to do, oh, you know what? I don't want to mess with the word king. I want to leave that alone. So I'm going to duplicate that whole group, the king with the glow. I'm going to turn off king with the glow. And let's say you want a queen version of this. So I'm going to double click on the text here and type in queen, Quee, capital N. Or do I want lowercase n? I think I like lowercase n. And I'm going to Control T to transform this, make it a little smaller. And of course, this is not fitting for the champ, but it is fitting for if I want to change out one of my ladies now. So I have queen in there, and I was trying to make it where I don't have to move that crown again. And if I want to stretch this disproportionately, I'm holding down shift because I'm cheating and stretching it a little bit so that it fits right where that crown is. All right, so then I would take off my Tyson 1 and 2, because remember we had a foreground Tyson and a background Tyson. And then I can put in one of my beautiful ladies. Or you can put in your photos. So if you have your little ones, like this might be a perfect opportunity to do like Fresh Prince, Fresh Princess, that sort of thing, and actually have editable text. So you don't have to worry about pulling in a vector or a PNG of each individual letter. This is editable text. And the font is just going to be $3. That's it. Okay, so any questions? How do you set it up to print it all over? Ooh, Jasmine. I have an entire playlist. Matter of fact, if you go to the Innate Lab channel and you look up my playlist for the channel, you'll see that there's a playlist that has 5 videos showing you how to do the all overs. And there is a hack because at one point in time, some people don't have the Adobe PDF option when they go to print. So there is a hack that I think Candace figured out, right? Um, oh, Candace is here to use Bullzip. And I guess I'll do an updated tutorial of that as well, just to put that in there because some people won't see print to PDF. So if you don't see that option, then she figured out that you can use Bullzip. And I don't know if there's a Mac, if that works for Macs, or there needs to be another solution for Macs. But that's how we basically break it down to tile it. Now, if you want to just press it all over and you want to order the prints from us, that is available. This particular size goes up to a 3X. So you'll be able to print adult small all the way up to adult 3X. And if you decide to put it inside the mask here, then this particular size is 18 by 26. You can make it a little bit smaller so that it can work for your youth sizes all the way up to adult sizes. But on a youth size, this looks like an all over. You just have to be very aware of like bring your text in a little bit because the youth sizes will probably cut off that text. Yes, you're welcome. And those, I'm going to set up the listing for the jumbo prints, but at least for right now, I'm going to show you how you would go about ordering your prints. You just go to Design Print Services. And this one is for the 4X, 5X. It's a totally different template and different size. So if you ever have to print 4Xs and 5Xs, then you want to choose that option. But there is another one that's specifically for the 3X, up to 3X. So this is adult small 3X. This is what you're going to put your youth on as well, because it's going to be very unlikely that you're able to do multiple youth sizes to a 36 by 44. Okay, and this is interesting because I want to show y'all something. So this is why the jumbo prints are less expensive, and I'm also going to show you how to make this a youth template because some people have asked for that. So I don't know what the timer is right now. I think it's 48:51. Erica, if you could do me a favor and put 48:51 in the comments, not in the chat, but in the comments when we're done, because that's going to be a timestamp of where people can go in order to figure out how to change this from an adult size graphic, make it print ready for a youth size. Okay, so I'm going to open my youth template, the one that I would download for free on innatelab.com. And you want to download the PSB version, not the PNG version. The PSB has the clean outline that you keep on, separate from the guideline outline. All right. So if you're getting ready to send this to me as is, then I'm going to show you something. If I just straight up take everything on this template, including the background, I'm just going to group it real quick to show you something. If I pick this up, if it allows me to pick it up, oh, it's got some layers locked. Let me unlock these layers. Oh, no. Let me relock those layers and just grab everything except for those locked layers. Because I like to keep, I don't like to shift this around. I like to keep my guides locked. I don't like to play around with it. So this whole group, I just did Control G to group it. I'm going to pick it up, drop it into this youth shirt. Now keep in mind, this is about what the orientation would look like for the 18 by 26. And I'm just going to pull it below my guides. As you can see, you see what I was talking about here? The text gets cut off for youth extra small. All you're going to see is the word fresh, right? And it's going to cut off down here. A youth small, you'll see not enough of the text to even be legible, etc. So what you have to do is Control T. You have to resize this and figure out what's your best size for printing on this youth shirt. Now there's a huge difference between printing on a youth extra small and a youth large. So I'm hitting enter right now to lock in my transformation. And there we have it. I can go ahead and reactivate the outside here by disabling my layer mask. And this is designed so, like I said, you don't have to worry about printing all into the sleeves, but that is the overall look there. Now I might, for the sake of making this better for a kid size, I would take the word fresh, Control T, bring it in a little bit. You see my little text safe area here? I'm the type of person now with text is better safe than sorry, especially if you're doing a wide range of sizes from an extra small to a large. And see, my next text and photo safe area is all the way up here. Now, if you're not printing an extra small shirt, then I wouldn't worry about this. An extra small and a small is a huge leap if you see that. An extra small is more like a toddler 5'6". So you may want to kind of design that on the toddler template, which is a whole nother template. Okay, so this is just showing you how to resize your graphics. I have a whole video on resizing your graphics. So y'all check that out too. And for me, I'm not so concerned if I'm printing a small and it just happens to cut off this globe, that's fine. But what I don't want it to cut off is the entire Q or half of the QUEEN. Then it is not legible anymore. So just to be safe, I would just change its orientation. Hit enter to lock in that transformation. And then I would decrease the word fresh. And you see with a youth shirt, you don't have as much height as you do with an adult shirt. So it's more of a square type of design. So you have to keep that in mind when you're designing for the adult shirt. It's not always going to translate to a youth shirt. All right, so now youth shirts translated just fine. And we'll look at the difference here. 1. And let's go ahead and turn off the layer mask. So let's disable the layer mask here. And we'll see what it looks like for the adult versus the youth. So if I were going to send this as art ready, then I would turn off the layer that says turn off for printer. And this one that says keep on for printer, if you want to kind of be a little more aware of where your sleeves are, you can. But if I wanted to do that, I would just do like a little bit of an inner shadow. Just a little bit, just so I can see where the shape of my shirt is supposed to be. So when I'm laying this out, I have a good idea. Okay. So I can copy that layer style. And you have plenty of bleed area if you're doing a 3X. So that little bit of shadow, it should not affect. And it may not even let me paste the layer style because this is locked. Yep, so I have to unlock it to paste the layer style. and then I'll lock it right back. There we go. So now when I turn off for printing, I'm going to turn off the sneaker just because I don't want it to inadvertently print on the shirt. And there we have it. Now this is print ready. How I would save it, I would go to File, Save As. Save it as a JPEG. Because for some reason when you save it as a PNG, it throws off your ratios for your pixels. Alright, so it's going to ask me what quality I want to save it. I want it all the way cranked up to 12. Now that would be my adult. And then my youth version, I would do Save As, same thing, JPEG. And we're going to put this in the same folder. Alright, so that's it. And then I'm going to make sure I don't save that template. But somebody had that question earlier today when they're submitting their artwork, how they change it to a youth size, and if they can fit more than one youth size on a 36 by 44. The answer is no. However, if you are doing, and here's another timestamp. Let's see what timestamp is it for the video. So timestamp 57:37. So let's say you wanted to do the jumbo prints. Then you would just do File, New. You don't even, there is absolutely no reason for me to include a template for a jumbo print. You're just going to put in the size, which is 18 by 26, 150 dpi or pixels per inch for your resolution. Then you're going to choose RGB as your color mode. And then the color profile is sRGB. I use a 2.1. Let's create there. Same thing now. For this one, I'm going to activate this layer mask. So I'm going to enable the layer mask. I'll bring this over. Up. I meant to bring over the entire group. So let's grab the group. And I'll just call this group Art. So we'll take the group, drag it over. And you'll notice it's about the same orientation. It just needs to be sized down a little bit because it's not quite all over. And that way I make sure I have a little bit of white space on the sides there. I don't want to cut anything off because I don't want it looking unnatural. And now you have that as a jumbo size print. That's still editable. So if I wanted to save this and continue to edit this, I could absolutely do that. Now I'm going to show you how you can save this as a jumbo print. You can save it as a 13 by 19 and it's basically an alternate template. So I'm going to save what I'm working on here. And I always try to save this for last because it's the last thing you all need to know. Hey G, what's up? Octavius, what's going on, love? Oh no, Rhoda! Well, I'm glad to see you. I'm sad that you did get that notification, but I'm going to leave this video up so you'll have it. All right, so for this one, I'm going to I'm not going to reactivate the outside because basically I want to show you how to make this a 13 by 19. So if you ever purchase the all over templates, because you know that you're probably going to do some all over, some 13 by 19s, and you don't want to purchase the all over and the 13 by 19 template, I'm going to show you my hack. And this is also how I go about saving this. So you basically get to see me create the 13 by 19 right in front of you. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is save all over. Make sure that I have everything exactly how I want it to be for the 13 by 19. And then I'm going to do File, Save As. When you do Save As, that means it's not going to save over your original all over version. I'm just going to take the word all over off the front of it. And then immediately you'll see that your file name changed and you no longer have all over in front. Okay, so now I'm working with my proposed 13 by 19 version. All right, I'm going to grab my crop tool. And here I'm going to type in 13 by 19, or if you're deciding to do the jumbo prints, you can still do a 13 by 19 orientation and just blow it up to the 18 by 26. But here I'm going to go ahead 13 by 19. That's our most common size because a lot of you are printing with the Epson desktop. Make sure y'all grab that True Colors ink. It is the truth, and pun definitely intended there. I'll make sure to remind y'all before we close out tonight. But I'm just pulling down the dimensions here to make sure that I want to keep white around my image. Okay, I don't want to get so close that I risk clipping my beautiful art, because when you work really hard, and y'all know what I'm talking about, when you work really hard to make sure you don't have square edges on your graphics, the last thing you want to do is inadvertently clip something off, and then you're like, man, I might as well have just put that in a big old box, you know? So give yourself a little playroom. I used to try to max everything out, and sometimes I still struggle with that, trying to max out how big I can print. And every time I try to max out how big I can print, I usually end up messing something up. Okay, so don't be like me, learn from me. Okay, so what this means is that now this is going to be 13 by 19 in ratio, but not the actual size. So it is getting ready, and I can't show you the progress bar because it's on my other screen. But I also want to make sure that you don't have delete crop pixels selected. If you do have it selected, then undo it, Control Z, and deselect delete crop pixels, and then do your cropping. The reason why I say that is because if I had deleted my crop pixels, and let's say, for instance, maybe, and you know what, I need to link all these layers because I got a feeling y'all will end up moving these around by accident, and all of these have to stay in the same position. So I'm going to lock these. I'm going to link them. I didn't lock them, I just linked them, meaning that if I move one, they're all going to move together. Okay, and this is important because let's say if I had deleted those crop pixels, you see I would have that hard line at the bottom. I would not be able to add any more data. So once you delete crop pixels and you keep carrying it on, there's nothing you can do about it. But if you catch it early enough, then you can undo it, deselect delete crop pixels, and keep all of that extraneous data until you figure out that you don't need it. And then you can start cleaning up your file and making it smaller. Okay, so now for my 13 by 19 version, I don't need, I'm unlocking and deleting unnecessary layers. I have my color palette, but it's off to the side, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it to where I can see it, just in case y'all want to use that to recreate your color palette. And just to let you know, it says the fresh, and then it says of this school, but you can edit this text too. So you have two different text styles. And of course, I showed you how to, so I'm going to change this to Queen with the Glow. So you can just easily, very easily, turn off the Queen versus the King. All right. So like I said, you get the additional characters in there if you choose to purchase the one that has the characters. And for this one, for Jada, I need to, see, I see that hard line right there on hers. I'm going to grab my brush, go onto her layer mask, and just fade that off. Matter of fact, I might as well do that for each of the characters. Make sure they're all faded off well. Okay, I think everything else is faded off pretty well. So I'm going to bring Will back, and then I'll take off Queen and replace it with King. Or you, of course, you can retype that with whatever text that you want there. Good night.
Good night.
You good? Sweet dreams.
Okay.
Love you. Good night. All right. So that's it. So now you have the 13 by 19 version. Oh, let me show you how to actually save it as a 13 by 19. We're going to go to image size, and this is how we're going to test our gangster, because right now this is a 24 by 35 inch size image. That's huge. It doesn't have to be that huge. Of course, if you're printing 13 by 19, I want you to type in 13 for the width, and 19 automatically propagates for the height. 150 dpi is all you need for sublimation, and we'll say okay. And of course, you did this all on your saved as version, so you're not going to save over your all over version of it. So now I have this as a 13 by 19 version and an all over version. Okay, so I know I'm shooting myself in the foot when I'm telling you, oh, there's no need to buy the all over version and the 13 by 19, because some of y'all do that, and I love y'all for it. But I'm telling you, there is an easier way, there's a better way. So, and you know, I would much rather teach you how to fish than spoon feed you the fish, because that's what I'm here for. All right, so I'm going to, because a 13 by 19 is a little different orientation than all over shirts, I might take my word, let's see, my fresh with my glow here, and the word the. Let me hold down shift and select the word the. Bring that up a little bit now, because I have a little more room to play with. And then my king with the crown. I'm going to hold down shift so I can select the crown with the word king. You can bring that down a little bit. And then I get a little bit of that image kind of coming through at the bottom of the graphic there, which I think looks cool. But if you don't like it, just make the words bigger. Speaking of which, I can Control T and make my words bigger. And of course, we got to check on Queen, because when we made that bigger, we have to make sure Queen works out. Control T. And then I can bring Queen down a little bit. So now Queen and King both work. We have our alternate colorways built in there. We have our color palette built in there. I'm going to go ahead and revert my color palette back. If y'all remember how to do that, just go to your FX, turn off the top color overlay, which was our alternate colorway. And voila, I'm getting my original color palette back. And this is something I need to start doing for myself. I'm really doing this for you all because I understand it simplifies the process of changing out these templates. But this is something I need to do as an artist myself. It's so much easier to have a colorway in mind before you even start working on anything. And that black is going to stay. I'm going to keep the black. Y'all have any questions or any input? I love to hear y'all's input and feedback, because the only reason why I even did this tonight is because of you all. Well, all right, Octavius, up to a 6X. What brand shirts do you use when you do a 6X? Octavius, because the only ones that I could find are like the silky, you know, kind of style ones. I haven't found any that have the cotton feel. And usually what that is a spun polyester. So just like it's a spun cotton, they imitate the spun process with the polyester. They basically chop it up into little fibers and then make it into a single yarn so that it kind of imitates the cotton. And that's why there's a difference between the filament polyester shirts that have that sheen to them and the polyester shirts that look like cotton or mimic cotton. Is because it's a spun polyester. I'm sorry, it's a yeah, it's spun, but no longer a filament, like a continuous strand. They're 100% polyester. Let me know what brand that is. I'm trying to think. I very rarely do 6X's, but I know I get that question sometime from you all. So if you could share that information, I'm sure that would help a lot of people out. And I do, like, I don't offer 6X's, but if one of my clients asks me for 6X, then I will find it. I want to say, what is the company? I think Alpha Broder has them. I can't think of the brand right now. But it's not Port & Company because I think they stopped at 5X. But I use Vapor for my 4X's and my 5X's because they do, they have that heavier weight to them. They're not so thin. And usually if you have your clients that are 4X's and 5X's, they prefer a little bit heavier weight shirt. So that's what I use, Vapor. Anyone else have any questions? I am going to, let's see, it's already late. Lord have mercy. But I'm going to stay up. I'm going to put this online as well as some other templates online tonight. So you all can be on the lookout for that. And I want to see what you all come up with, because I know you don't have to say the same words. You don't have to do the same color placement. You can even switch out the images. I'm just really interested to see what you all do with it. And Paris, hey love, we have a newbie in the house. Everybody say hey to Paris. I got you, Octavius. I know there's some projects we need to be working on with everything that's going on. I have a huge project too that I have not really announced, but it's underway and I don't want to announce it until it's quite ready. So I have been on my hermit mode. Not just because of COVID, because I am really putting some things to the pavement. And it's really for us. It's not just for me. So I'm really excited about these things and I cannot wait to reveal them to you all and get started on this process with you all. Because it's about a network. It's a family thing. Okay? All right, loves. Well, if y'all don't have any more questions, y'all are up late tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get this thing uploaded for y'all. This will be the first thing that I do because it's probably the most anticipated. Then I'll do the living single template, was highly requested too. I'll go ahead and get that uploaded tonight, as well as the there's another one I was supposed to upload. So I'm going to get them up there for y'all. And just for you all who are here live tonight, you'll have a little heads up that I'm going to do another flash sale as a back to school incentive. So the flash sale will probably be I'm sure it'll probably be like Friday or Saturday, probably Saturday. But it's not going to be a 48-hour flash sale like I did last time, or a 72-hour like I did last time. It's literally going to be a 12-hour flash sale. Okay, so if you want to wait until then to purchase a template, you already know how the flash sales go. It's going to mark everything down to $9.99 per template. If you're getting the cartoons are going to be extra. So just, keep that in mind. It's going to be, usually I charge $15 extra when it has the cartoon on the template. Okay, so that'll probably be Saturday. Like I said, 12 hours. I'm not going to have any excuses on anybody that didn't know what Eastern Standard Time was, and something was in their cart one price and they went to check out after the deadline and it changed the prices. It's going to do that. So you have a heads up. I want you to be aware of that. Saturday, I'm going to pick a 12-hour window randomly. Whenever I post it is when I post it, and we'll have another flash sale as a back to school incentive. Okay? Just because I love y'all that much. I know I usually only do one per month, but yeah, I understand there's a lot going on right now. And even the kids that are not going to school, I want to celebrate them, let y'all create something fly for the kiddos. And even if they're in front of the computer, video chatting with the teacher in the class, I still want them to look extra cool. All right. All right, love. So I appreciate you all. Love y'all for real. And just for now, till later. Bye.